Hi, everyone. This is David, and welcome to today's live stream on February 9, 2022, in which we will discuss the most common form of writing today, emails. Unfortunately, this common form of writing is also one that very few people have had any training in. So let's go ahead and take care of that today with this brief presentation on how to write better emails in 2022. Then, after this presentation, we will open everything up to your questions as we seek answers together to those questions. So, let's go ahead and get started. How to write better emails in 2022. First, let's start off with something everybody knows. You've got mail. As a matter of fact, you've probably got way too much mail, so much email that you're drowning in it. And that stands to reason if you take a look at a few of these statistics. Let's see, total worldwide emails sent and received per day. Last year, 319 billion. This year, estimated 333 billion. And that is expected to increase by approximately 4% for every day into the future. In other words, your email load is not going to get less. It's going to get more. The demands for you to write crisp, clear, succinct emails is going to grow, not lessen. So let's take care of that. First, let's acknowledge the fact that for most workers in the world today, 28% of their day is taken up with dealing with emails. A lot of that is with writing emails. And one of the things we want to do today is to introduce you to a formula that will enable you to write great emails in a very short period of time. In other words, you're going to be given an email template for business emails. Let's get into some more statistics. McKinsey Global Institute estimates email the most time-consuming activity that today's worker engages in. That is the McKinsey Global Institute. So we're not just talking about a select few nations. We're talking about, on the whole, throughout the world, this email epidemic, shall we call it, is on the move. And as you just saw from the statistics, the email epidemic is going to grow, not lessen. So I bet you might think, well, I could use a little bit of help in dealing with this onslaught of emails. So no problem. I'm sure that since most of you who attend these chats already have college degrees and even advanced degrees, I'm sure that you've already had courses in how to write effective emails because email writing is so darn important. So let's go ahead and focus on those courses that you have had. Oh, you haven't had any courses. Ah, the big goose egg. Well, I'm sorry about that. But nonetheless, that gives us motivation to start talking about the top 10 email hacks. Let's get started. Email hack number 1. This is the most common complaint about emails: the lack of clear, detailed subject lines. Writing a great email doesn't begin with the email body. It begins with the email subject line. Let's go over the guidelines for a clear, detailed subject line. Your subject line should convey subject matter, purpose, and any action to be taken. Examples. Staff meeting. Wow. Okay, that's pretty darn vague. Could you be more specific, please? Okay. How about a bi-weekly staff meeting? Oh, okay, now I know the meeting I'm supposed to come to, the one that is held bi-weekly. I still don't know anything about that meeting and what's going to be expected of me. So let's say bi-weekly staff meeting for updates. Oh, okay, I have to give an update, or I'm going to be given an update, and I'm told exactly when it takes place. Do you see the difference between the one on the left and the one on the right? Another example. Sick leave policies. Great. What about them? How about review and approval of proposed sick leave policies? Now I kind of have a better idea of exactly what's going to be happening here. We're going to review and approve the new ones. Oh, now it makes it, this detailed subject line makes it even more pertinent for me, because I'm going to be giving my review and approval of sick leave policies by the end of the day. So I definitely want to attend this meeting. So take a look. There you see the ones on the left and how they should be written on the right. It is very difficult for you to fill up that entire subject line in an email. Yeah, there's a limited number of characters, but I assure you that the number of characters you're seeing right here on the right will nicely fit into the subject line of your emails. More importantly, subject lines like you see on the right will get you better response and make you more esteemed as an email writer. Next hack. This is an important one. Stop writing emails. Just stop it. Do not write emails. Instead, outline your emails so that you avoid the word salad. You want to eliminate paragraphs. I'm telling you right now that for emails in 2022, do not use paragraphs. They're gone. Instead, write sentences that are no more than 1 to 3 lines long. Forget about double sentences in one paragraph. You want to limit sentence length one at a time, for make it its own paragraph if you wish, 1 to 3 lines. But more importantly, you want to use as many lists and outline formats as you can. The purpose of that one sentence paragraph is to introduce the list and the outline that you're going to provide. These lists and outlines enable your reader to skim and scan your email and not have to decode words, ideas, word for word. The reader no longer has to dig into a paragraph, find the main point, and extrapolate what that main point is by the writer. Instead, it's laid out in a list. Here's some more examples. Look at the one on the left. Complete word salad. You get that in an email and you go, oh no, I hope that I read it correctly. I hope that I can extrapolate the right ideas, but this is going to take some work. Well, stop writing them. Stop writing paragraphs. Outline instead. Your readers beg you, please just tell me what you want. And so you convert that word salad paragraph into an outline, like you see on the right. Hi, Tom. One sentence, no paragraphs. I need some financial data for a report I'm working on. Next sentence. Specifically, I need to know. List. Next sentence. Can you please email me the answers by the end of the day? Sign off. So you see, there are no paragraphs. There are sentences, one sentence, 2 sentences, 3 sentences, and then those sentences are punctuated by list. That is today's preferred 2022 email format. And that, as you can see, just look at it, you can quickly scan that. You don't have to read word for word, labor through a paragraph, trying to find out what Kindle really wants. Okay, third hack. Be sure to specify any desired reader response. Don't leave your readers looking like this, scratching their head, saying, what does this person who sent me the email really want? You want to emphasize the desired reader response in at least 3 places. Place number 1 is in the subject line. Place number 2 and 3 are in the body of the email. You need to repeat that reader response 3 times, subject line, and at least twice in the body of the email for that desired reader response to be as clear as it needs to be in an email. Because remember, you're getting hundreds of emails a day, probably on average between 50 and 60. And some are spam and you can delete right away, but some you got to read. And respond to. And this is the best way to get a response. Remember that in getting a response, if you want a recipient to take action, be sure not to put that recipient's name in the CC line, but instead put it in the to line and also repeat in the body of the email. If you have multiple recipients, each with an action item, be sure to list those in your email, and always provide a deadline or a desired response date. You don't have to say your deadline is. You could say something like, if possible, could you please respond to me within the next week? That's a polite way to ask for a deadline. But to truly generate the reader response that you want, you need to be putting in that deadline. Okay, hack number 4, avoid socializing as much as possible. There are some of your recipients who I know want to be socialized a little bit, and that's fine. You don't have to be blunt. You don't have to be rude. But just remember that emails are designed to get stuff done, not to socialize. Socializing, that can take place in another venue. But when it comes to your emails, whether you are conducting business in school as a student or whether you're conducting business outside of school, your business, your job is to get something done, not to socialize. Here's an important one, hack number 5, which is bluff it. Bluff it stands for bottom line up front, and it means simply to state your purpose in the opening sentence. As we saw in that sample email, Kendall, I would like to get the following bits of information for a financial statement. Here they are. You stated your purpose right up front. Now, there are usually 3 kinds of purposes, and you're welcome to borrow these kinds of sentences. If your purpose is to inform, your top line should be, the purpose of this email is to outline the current policy. If your purpose is to persuade, you'd say, below is my proposal for limiting. If your purpose is to request, you would say, please review and provide. Please review and give me your feedback. Please take a look at and respond if you can by the end of the week. So you want to state that purpose, whether it's inform, persuade, or request, right at the top of that email. And that's called bluffing it. More reasons to bluff to ensure clarity for you. If you're required to put that key idea, that key purpose up top, then that's going to make it clear for you as well as for the reader. But also, you want to bluff it in order to pass the top of the screen test. Over 80%, actually, I think it's closer to 87%, of all email traffic today is viewed on a mobile device. If you're watching the screencast, I bet you, either live or recorded, I bet you're probably watching, there's an 87% chance that you are watching it on a mobile device. What does that mean? Mobile devices mean smaller screens of real estate. It means that the viewing area is more narrow. The more narrow it gets, the more likely it is that your reader is going to have to scroll to get your full message. That is why that bottom line up front is so important in today's mobile environment. That you want to convey that purpose of your email before the inevitable scrolling on a mobile device. Okay, we all know about email etiquette. We all know to turn off the caps locks these days, not a problem. But there are other forms of email etiquette that you may not be practicing, and those include modifying subject lines during long email threads. I'm sure we've all been a part of these long email threads, and know that by the time you get to the middle or the end of that thread, the topic has usually been refined and changed. And it's a good practice during an email chain to go ahead and introduce what is the real topic that has evolved from the original chain. Be sure that you have a signature line, and this signature line should provide the receiver multiple ways to contact you, because the first or even second way might not always work out. Besides, sending it to more than one medium by one medium will also probably ensure that you get the intended email faster. And of course, everybody, I hope, knows today to not ever click on reply all unless you absolutely have to. And observe the 24-hour rule. That basically means this, that if there's any kind of emotional tension going on, if there's any kind of, if you're ever upset or confused or angry, never send an email when you are in one of those emotional states. Always send your email in a calm state. And often that means waiting 24 hours before responding to an email that has upset you somewhat. Man, have I gotten in trouble by not observing the 24-hour rule. I've also learned to avoid any attempt at joke, sarcasm, any kind of attempts at humor. The world of black and white, stringent world of emails simply does not support very well attempts at humor. As always, you want to be seen in your emails as someone who focuses on solutions, not problems. You want to leave the complaints to the complaint department. You want to leave your criticism to the criticism department. Instead, emails are meant to focus on moving things ahead, getting things accomplished, whether in school or at work. And that's why you want to focus on the people who have solutions, and you want to be one of those people who always offers solutions, not complaint, criticism, or problems. Another hack is to categorize your emails. As you know, as an email recipient, you not all emails are apples and oranges. Some of them are lemons. So it's good to have a system to categorize your emails so that you can respond immediately to those that require immediate action, and then filter CC emails into their own folder for later review. And you can usually, in your various email clients, but especially one like Outlook, very popular today, you can set up different rules, and these rules allow you to automatically filter and categorize your emails. Another important rule is if an email is not for you, delete it immediately or forward it if need be. But don't let stuff hang around in your inbox. Instead, this is what you're going for. Nirvana. Nirvana today is an empty inbox. Good luck on attaining it. Okay, the best way to end an email, this is some valuable information here. There was this study done by this company called Boomerang, in which they studied 350,000 emails sent from a variety of groups, 20 different groups. And Boomerang studied this almost 500,000 emails to find out which email closing, which email sign off, end, whatever you want to call it, generated the best response. And here is what they found. They found that the best response rate comes from ending your email with some form of the word thanks. Notice the response rate there in the mid 60s. Compare that to the baseline, which is 47. Compare that to best. The best way to end an email is not with using the word best. The best way to end an email is with some form of the word thanks. As you can see, thanks in advance and thanks are high on the list. There's a break there to thank you, and then a huge break after thank you to all the also rans. Cheers, kind regards, best regards, and then another big drop off to the word best. So if you ever get an email from me, you'll probably see the word thanks at the end. Thanks for the communication. Thanks for contacting me. Thanks for being a part of my group. Thanks for joining in these ideas as we work toward an answer. You can always give gratitude, give thanks. Okay, the last is, of course, if you are in a specific school, department, or company, try to find out if that entity has for you rules for you to follow. Because no matter what rules I give you, the rules given to you by any school, department, professor, company, those are the rules to follow, not mine. So remember that. Okay, thank you very much. As you know, that's the proper way to end things. Okay, Hadu is here. Hello, Hadu. I have ended the chat, and we are now ready to answer your questions. Now, at this point, you can ask any questions about the presentation that I just gave, about email, and you can also ask any questions related to your writing and to your study. So I'll give you just a moment to formulate those questions. Okay, Hadu, I don't think you've been here before, so I welcome you, sir. And Achimlal. Correct me if I'm saying your name wrong, please. And if you would, Hadu, please share where you're from and what you're studying. And anybody on the stream today, please let me know who you are and what you're studying and any question that I can help you with today. Maybe we don't have need for that PowerPoint anymore. Okay. Okay, so for everyone on this live stream, let's see, 7 people are currently viewing it. So for any of you who are here, please, do you have any questions? I'm assuming you're hearing my audio. Audio. Oh my God, don't tell me that I've done this whole thing without audio. Test. Okay, it's showing that my audio is good. Okay. Well, according to my check, my audio is good. Okay, well, I will wait just one more minute. And if there are no questions, we will go ahead and end the broadcast. Hi, Karen. Thank you very much. Do you have any questions, Karen Hood? And it looks like you are from, is that New Zealand? Out west in the US? Canada? Scotland? I'm just going by your avatar there. Looks like a big old mountain billy goat. Okay, we are waiting for questions. Okay, well, so it doesn't seem like we have a group today that has a lot of questions, and that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and hello, Rama. Hey, how you doing? Rama, we're in the question taking period now. So anyone with questions, please go ahead and enter them in. I want to give this a few more minutes. Here is Karen. Let me put yours up, Karen. Karen writes, thank you for your advice on email writing. Many of your don'ts I'm guilty of committing. I won't ask which one. And you are in Maryland. Okay. Well, I teach for a school in Maryland, Karen. Maybe you've heard of the University of Maryland Global Campus. That is where I teach. Are you a student there or teacher there by any chance? And I'm trying to think of any place in Maryland where they might have mountain billy goats. Oh, no problem, Karen. No problem. I sincerely hope that no one looks at grammar when it comes to chat messages, or IMs. That's the form of writing where those qualities really don't appertain. Sometimes in emails they don't appertain as well, depending upon who the email audience is. But of course, whenever you're not sure, it's always best to put your best foot forward, because one of the primary purposes of language, other than to communicate, is used to discriminate against people by putting them into different groups based upon their language, their accent, their vocabulary, their their grammar, their usage. Language is very much a political tool as well as a tool for communication. And that's why it's always best to mind your manners when you don't know the audience. I know that wasn't your question, Karen, but I decided to do a little diatribe on that instead. Well, okay, you guys, I'm not really seeing any questions and our viewership is dropping. So I think I better come up with a better topic for next week other than emails. I tell you, I've been getting emails from a lot of students, and um, I did this presentation uh, to kind of improve some of the emails that I've been getting, but whatever. Here's Karen. I'll put this up, Karen. Karen, I'm starting my first semester there. Oh, no, UMGC. One of my courses I'm rolling is PACE. I used to teach that course, and I might even be teaching that course uh, in February. I don't know, but I do have a lot of videos for each week in the PACE course on my channel, Karen. So I cover each week's assignments in PACE 111 on my YouTube channel. I haven't taught it in a while. A lot of people want to teach that course. So I hope those videos help you, Karen, and thank you for your question. So Karen, you are returning to school, I assume? You are an adult returning to school? Others can also ask your questions. Any question on writing in general, whether it be writing your research paper, your thesis, your dissertation, as well as emails. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and end the broadcast. Thank you all very much for coming by. If you do have any questions that aren't posted here, by all means, please post them to my channel and I'll be happy to answer them. Oh, William Soto. Hi, William. Okay, well, that's great to hear, William. And anything else that you need, please let me know. Many of the videos I make were made by request from students like you. You're a noob sub. Okay, great. Doing a second degree. Okay, well, get that first degree, that first experience is going to help you a whole lot, Karen. Some of the PACE course, Karen, you might see as, I don't know, a bit elementary for you. And some parts may well be redundant for you. However, there are elements in the PACE course that have you think about your major, your career, that provide you resources at UMGC that students really should be aware of and more students should take advantage of. So bear with putting up with the things you already know and do well, and look forward to learning new things about yourself, your career, your major, as well as resources at this big school. Salama is late. Salama, this is the second week that you have been late. I am adding or deducting points for your tardiness. And remember, after 3 tardies, you know what happens. We take away your birthday. Salama, we are in the question asking portion. So feel free to check in. Tell us how it's going on I think you're doing a thesis on literature at your school in Sweden, I believe. Either Sweden or Norway, I forgot. Okay, talk about the summary. Okay. Summaries. And especially a novel summary. Novel summaries are a lot different than summaries of, say, nonfiction books, academic articles, that kind of thing. I can give a presentation on how to write an abstract, and an abstract is nothing but another word for summary. I can give a presentation on how to write an abstract for academic books and academic articles. Writing a summary for a novel is a completely different thing. So much depends upon how long the summary must be and what the assignment directions are. If you have the assignment directions, Salama, send them to me and I will be happy to take a shot at preparing a presentation on them. In regards to novel summaries, there are many websites, Salama, that offer their own summaries of most novels that you will be assigned. Now, I'm not saying plagiarize from one of those websites. I'm saying that it's possible for you to read those summaries and kind of, based upon your reading of them, do your own. So I should have put that up. So yeah, those sites can be useful in that after you read 3 or 4 summaries of the same novel, you'll have a very clear idea of what belongs in your summary. Of course, everything depends upon your assignment directions as well. Rama says the next topic is about methodologies. Sure. I had that question in an email earlier today, Rama. So I'm happy to do that. Thank you. That's a good one. Rama, tell me a little bit more about what you would like to know about, I'm assuming, the methodology section of your research report. What is it that you would like to know? Sure, Salama. I would be happy to give some tips. Please send me those assignment directions, Salama, so that I can address them specifically. And Rama or anyone else, if you're interested in a presentation on a research methodology, if you could give me some more specifics. In other words, are there specific methodologies that you wish me to cover? Or do you want me to just talk generally about the methodology section in your research report? If you could give me some hints on that, I would appreciate it. I will say this about methodology, Rama. The best presentation on methodology for a particular research project is found in the literature review. By reading a number of research articles in your discipline and are related to your topic, you will see a lot of methodologies explained in our presentation, on how to write an academic, how to read an academic journal article. Remember that we said the methodology section is the longest section in any research report. Therefore, during your literature review, you're going to have a chance to read those long, detailed methodology sections to see exactly what other researchers are doing in your field. I have to tell you that is my best advice on writing your methodology section. Do what others have done. And you find that out through your literature review. Rama, have you completed your literature review? Things are really slow today. Okay, here's Nemo. Thank you. I'll put this up, Nemo. Thank you for coming by. Thank you so much for all your videos. Videos are very helpful. Thank you, Nemo. I appreciate that very much. Nemo, are there any other videos on topics that you would like to see? For example, we've had one suggestion today. Two suggestions, excuse me. Two suggestions today. One is on how to write summaries, and the other is on the methodology section of a research report. So, Nemo, if you have any requests regarding topics you would like to be covered, either in a live stream or in a video, that would be great. You still have a problem where you can put in commas. Okay, Salama, have you memorized the 7 rules for comma placement? There are only 7 rules for commas. Let's go over them, because this really should not be hard stuff. Let me pull up that file. Okay, I'm going to share this. Okay, you should be seeing a presentation called Comma Class. Master this mark, 11 myths and more. If you could let me know. Oh, you have completed your literature review. Thank you, Rama. Rama, what methods were used by the researchers whom you reviewed? Make a list of those and send them to me, and I will go through each one. Okay, I'm seeing it, so you guys should be seeing it. Let's go ahead and get through this really quickly. Here are some myths about commas. Long sentences must have commas. No. The only place that you put commas is where one of these 7 rules say, it's actually 6 rules, where one of these 6 rules tell you you must have a comma. And you never judge comma placement by so-called pauses. There's a big difference between how you breathe and pause and what a grammatical pause is. So simply forget about these 2 myths. And here's another one to forget. Their comma rules are too complex and too flexible. 1, they're not complex. There are only 6 of them, and I'm about to explain them to you. And 2, no, they're not flexible. When you're in school and you're doing academic writing, they're not flexible at all. They're only flexible in creative writing and in journalistic writing, not in academic writing. Okay, let's go over the rules. Rule number 1, any words that come before the subject of the sentence are set off. Whether that is one word, generally, whether it is 2 words, in fact, or whether it is more than 2 words. Any words that come before the subject of the sentence must be set off by comma. Okay, now if you have any questions on any of these rules, oh, I helped you complete the literature review. Okay, cool. Thank you. You're welcome, Jalal. Okay. Next rule. That's rule number 1. There are only 6 of them. Here's another example. Rule number 2. Place a comma before fanboys when it joins 2 sentences. Michaela is almost dressed and ready. Those are 2 words, dressed and ready. We're talking about 2 sentences. Not even 2 phrases. In the bathroom, under the sink. Those are phrases. Those are words and phrases. We're talking about clauses, sentences. The lost puppy has blue eyes, comma, fanboys. Fanboys stands for and nor, but, or, yet, or so. Those are the only 7 coordinating conjunctions. Those are the only 7 words that can join 2 sentences. Splice. Oh, this is not actually a rule, but this is what happens when you violate the previous rule. You can't join 2 sentences with only a comma. You must have that fanboys in there. So now we're down to 5 rules. This rule is really about a common era. You must have a fanboys, comma, fanboys to join 2 sentences. Or you can also join 2 sentences with an internal period, or you can also join 2 sentences with a period. Those are the only 3 ways in the English language that you can join sentences. Comma, fanboys, semicolon, period. That's it. If you're not punctuating your 2 sentences in one of those 3 ways, it's wrong. Check for any questions. You guys, please ask questions during this time. Oh, and you also don't set off, dependent clauses are different from independent clauses and are not set off by commas. You also, rule number 4, you set off any transition word, phrase, or clause. There's transition words like however, therefore, thus. There are transition phrases as a result. On the other hand, and thusly. And there are transition clauses. Before you book. A word is a single word. A phrase is more than one word, but does not have a subject and a verb. A clause is any group of words with a subject and verb. There are independent clauses and dependent clauses. Any transition word or clause or phrase. You also put commas between items in a list. Love, happiness, and forgiveness. Any group of items, more than 2, is divided by commas between each one, including the comma after the last one in academic writing. You also can find phrases in series. A great student follows directions, studies assigned materials, proofreads all submitted work. Those are 3 phrases in series, and therefore they are set off by commas. You can also have 3 clauses in series. Danica receives praise when she cooks dinner, after she completes studying, and whenever she earns a top grade. Those are 3 clauses. So you can have words, phrases, or clauses in a list, and they're always set off by commas. Rule number 6, use a comma to set off non-identifying clauses and phrases. What's the name of the man who is working? These are identifying. In other words, these clauses or phrases are necessary to identify the previous noun. Now here are non-identifying. Please greet Miss Ayez, who is joining our company. Non-identifying. Osborne developed the first laptop, which sold for $17.50. So there is identifying. What's the name of the man who is smoking the cigar? The who clause there is necessary. Dana stars in a movie which debuts this Saturday as a identifying clause for which movie. These are non-identifying. They can be deleted, and we still have a complete understood sentence. Then the last rule is really kind of the same as the first one. The identifying and the non-identifying especially applies to which can be either identifying or non-identifying, but the word that is always identifying. The word that is always identifying. The word that is never preceded by a comma. Oh, another rule. This is kind of the same as the items in a list rule, except in this case, they are adjectives in a list. The outspoken independent prince, Matilda, a bright, energetic, and dedicated senior. And at the interview, Pedro was excited, confident, and eager. And it's just another variation of the list rule. That's it. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it. Oh, Jamal has a question. Jalal, I'm sorry, Jalal, I keep pronouncing your name. I want to ask that I am using a stochastic programming model for earthquake logistics, but facing problems where to gather data for it. Ooh, have you contacted various earthquake monitoring organizations where you live and throughout the world? That is where I would find that kind of data. What has been your success in contacting earthquake facilities? You're welcome, Salama. Salama, can you provide any sentences where you've had questions about comma usage? Jalal, I'm going to open up a web browser and I'm going to type in earthquake monitoring. Earthquake monitor worldwide. Okay, I'm going to share my screen on this. Okay, you should be seeing this Google page. Let me increase the size here. Get myself out of the way. There you go. So, Jalal, I would contact these places. I have found them to be really supportive of academic researchers who monitors earthquakes around the world. Looks like the U.S. Geological Survey is one of your best bets. Real-time interactive earthquake map. Huh, that's scary. My bet is that a lot of these organizations, for example, here's the CISN organizational map. If you go to their website, I just bet you they will have contact information. Yes, they do. And because the California Integrated Seismic Network has contact information, I bet they would be willing to share data with a researcher like yourself. Okay, Jalal, does that help? Does that help, Jalal? Is that what you were looking for? Because my feeling is that those groups uh, found all over the world do a lot of the kind of programming that you're talking about. Okay, we're coming up on the end here. More questions, please. Thinking about Jalal's question, there's little of more importance. I can't think of anything of more importance than the stochastic programming done by the various earthquake facilities throughout the world. I mean, our ability to predict earthquakes and to prepare people for them, it's as important as weather prediction a lot of the times. Okay, Karen, I've been viewing your content. Oh, the PACE content, Karen. I'll put this up. Kind of listen how helpful you are. Answer questions by ideas, not even pertaining. How did I use my comma correctly? Yes, you did. You set off an ing phrase, which is a non-identifying phrase at the end of the sentence. Outstanding. Answering questions about ideas is a non-identifying phrase at the end of your sentence. There is no comma after minutes because I am does not have its own subject. It is part of a compound verb. I have been and am impressed. Compound verb. All you have are two verb phrases, therefore no comma before the and. Oh, I thought that was just a clever abbreviation of correctly, Karen. COOR question mark. I thought that was a clever abbreviation. It's fine to use abbreviations in chats and IMs. For example, perfectly acceptable. Okay, well, we're coming to the top of the hour. I've really enjoyed your questions. Thank you very much. Thanks for the ideas. Salama and Rama, I believe. Yeah, Rama. Thank you for the ideas, methodologies, summaries. I got it. Oh, you're welcome, Karen. And any time. I mean, these are the kinds of answers that can really make your life a lot easier when you're writing, to really kind of get a lot of things settled, so that you don't have to worry about them. And they're easy to do as well. All right. Thank you, Karen. Karen bought a sticker. I didn't even know you could buy stickers on this platform, but thank you very much, Karen. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Okay, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end the broadcast. Thanks again for coming, and I will see you next week.